You wake up tired, not the kind of tired that sleep fixes, but the kind that settles deep in the chest, the kind that makes even simple mornings feel heavy. You've been carrying something. Maybe it's a situation that won't resolve itself. Maybe it's a grief you haven't named yet. Maybe it's just the accumulation of days lived on sheer willpower, with a smile on the outside and a quiet cry on the inside. This is not a story. This is a conversation. A gentle hand on your shoulder at the start of this day, reminding you of something you may have forgotten. You are not carrying it alone. Matthew 11:28 doesn't say, "Come to me when you've figured it out." It says, "Come to me as you are, all you who are weary and burdened." And this morning, before the noise of the world begins, there is a voice calling you by name. There is a mother interceding for you. There is rest being offered, not as a reward, but as a gift. Breathe. You are exactly where you need to be. Good morning. Before anything else, before the notifications, before the obligations, before the world asks anything of you, just stop for a moment, right here, right now, because what you are feeling this morning matters, and you deserve to have it acknowledged before this day asks you to carry on as if everything is fine. There is a kind of tiredness that no one talks about. It doesn't show up on your face. It doesn't make you collapse. It just stays. It sits quietly in the background of every conversation, every task, every night you lie down hoping tomorrow will feel different. It's the tiredness of someone who has been strong for too long, the tiredness of someone who prays and waits, and still hasn't seen the answer they were hoping for, the tiredness of someone who smiles in public and sighs in private. If you've ever felt that, if you feel it right now, then this message was made for you. We live in a world that glorifies endurance. Push through, keep going, don't stop. And so we learn from a very young age to carry our burdens quietly, to fold our pain neatly and tuck it somewhere no one can see. We become experts at appearing okay. We answer, "I'm fine," so automatically that we sometimes forget to check whether it's actually true. But the weight doesn't go away just because we stop talking about it. It accumulates, slowly, invisibly, in the tension of your shoulders, in the shortness of your breath, in the way small things suddenly make your eyes sting. The bill that hasn't been paid, the relationship that is hanging by a thread, the diagnosis you're still trying to process, the dream that keeps getting delayed, the loneliness that follows you even into crowded rooms. These are not small things. These are the real texture of human life, and they are heavy, heavier than anyone should have to carry alone. And yet, so many of us do exactly that. We carry it alone because we don't want to be a burden. We carry it alone because we've been disappointed before. We carry it alone because somewhere along the way, we started to believe that asking for help, even from God, was a sign of weakness. Or worse, we started to wonder if God was even listening at all. Have you ever prayed and felt like your words were hitting the ceiling? Have you ever knelt down with so much faith and gotten up with the same problem still waiting for you? Have you ever looked up at the sky and whispered, "I don't know how much more I can take," and then gone right back to pretending you were fine? If you have, you are not alone, and you are not faithless. You are human. You are someone who has been walking a long road, and your feet are tired, and your heart is heavy, and this morning, something in you reached out, maybe without even realizing it, looking for something to hold on to. That reaching out, that is prayer, even when it doesn't feel like it. There is a particular kind of suffering that comes not from the absence of faith, but from carrying faith alone, from believing deeply, but feeling like no one is walking beside you in the believing, from trusting God in theory but feeling, in practice, like you are the only one holding yourself together. That tension is exhausting, and it is real, and it does not make you a bad Christian, a weak believer, or someone unworthy of grace. It makes you someone who needs to be reminded of something essential. You were never meant to carry this alone. Not the worry, not the grief, not the uncertainty, not the fear. From the very beginning, from the very first cry of human need, God never designed you for solitary suffering. He designed you for communion with Him and with the ones He placed in your path to intercede for you. And one of those intercessors, one of the most tender and faithful ones, has been walking beside you longer than you realize. She has seen you in your worst moments. She has heard the prayers you were too tired to finish. She has stood at the foot of crosses before, watching, weeping, staying, and she has never once walked away from someone who needed her. She is a mother, and mothers do not abandon their children in the middle of the storm. This morning, before you pick up the weight again, before you straighten your back and tell yourself you can handle it, I want you to pause just a little longer, because there is something sacred in this moment. Something is shifting, even if you can't feel it yet. And the first step toward that shift is the most important one. It is the step of admitting the truth, not to the world, not even out loud if you don't want to. Just here, in the quiet of this moment, between you and God, say it. Whatever it is, name the weight. Speak it into the silence of this morning and trust that someone is already listening, because that is where everything begins, not in having the answers, but in finally being honest about the questions.
Not in having the strength to carry on, but in being brave enough to say, I am tired, I am struggling, and I cannot do this alone. That kind of honesty is not weakness. It is the beginning of surrender, and surrender, in the hands of God, is the most powerful thing a human being can offer. So take a breath, let your shoulders drop, and know, truly know, that what you are carrying right now is already being seen by eyes that never close and held by hands that never let go.
You are not alone in this. You never were. There is someone who has been praying for you, not metaphorically, not as a distant theological concept, truly, actively, tenderly praying for you, long before you woke up this morning, long before you found this video, long before you even knew you needed help. She was already interceding, already presenting your name before the throne of God, already holding the weight of what you couldn't yet articulate. Her name is Mary.
And if you have ever felt like your prayers weren't enough, like your words were too broken, too small, too repetitive to reach heaven, then understanding who she is and what she does may be the most comforting thing you encounter today. We live in a world that has largely forgotten what it means to be mothered, not just in the human sense, though that loss is real and deep for so many, but in the spiritual sense. The sense of having someone who sees you not for what you produce or what you achieve, but simply because you are hers. Someone whose love for you is not conditional on your performance. Someone who doesn't need you to have it together before she shows up. That is Mary. She is not a distant saint, locked behind stained glass. She is not a figure from ancient history with nothing to say to your modern, complicated, exhausted life. She is a mother, the mother, and mothers are never far from their children when their children are suffering. Think about what she lived through. She was a young woman when an angel appeared and turned her entire world upside down with a single sentence. She said yes without fully understanding what yes would cost her. She carried the Son of God in her womb and wrapped him in cloth in a borrowed space, because there was no room for them anywhere. She watched him grow. She watched him be misunderstood, rejected, and hunted, and then she stood at the foot of a cross, not from a distance, not hidden somewhere safe, but right there, in the open, watching the person she loved most in the world suffer in ways no mother should ever have to witness. She did not run. She did not collapse into despair, though her heart was breaking. She stayed. She witnessed. She endured. And in that endurance, something profound was happening. She was learning, in the most intimate and devastating way possible, what it means to intercede through suffering, to remain faithful when faithfulness costs everything. And then, in that same moment of incomprehensible pain, something even more extraordinary happened. Jesus looked down from the cross, in agony, in his final hours, and he did not speak of theology. He did not deliver a sermon. He looked at his mother, and he looked at the disciple he loved, and he said, "Woman, behold your son. Son, behold your mother." In that moment, he gave her to all of us, not just to John, not just to the disciples gathered there, to all who would come after, to every broken heart, every weary soul, every person who would one day wake up too tired to pray and too lost to know where to turn. He gave us a mother, his mother, and a gift given by Jesus from the cross is not a small thing. It is not symbolic. It is real, and it is eternal, and it is meant for you. So when life becomes too heavy, when the words of your own prayer run dry and all you have left is a sigh, a tear, a desperate and wordless longing for relief, she takes that sigh, she takes that tear, she takes that wordless longing, and she carries it forward, straight to the heart of her Son. She speaks on your behalf with a tenderness and an authority that no suffering of yours is too small to receive. She has never turned anyone away, not the sinner who came ashamed, not the doubter who came confused, not the grieving mother, not the desperate father, not the child who felt invisible, not the elderly person who felt forgotten. She receives everyone, every prayer, every broken offering, every morning cry that sounds less like worship and more like survival, and she transforms it, not because she is God, she is not, but because she is perfectly united with God's will, because her entire being is oriented toward one thing, bringing her children home, bringing you home, to rest, to grace, to the arms of the one who made you and loves you beyond what any human word can adequately describe. This morning, you may not feel her presence, and that is okay. Faith is not always felt. Sometimes faith is simply the decision to trust what is true even when your emotions are telling a different story. And what is true this morning is this: she is here. She is interceding. She has not forgotten you. She has not grown tired of your repeated needs. She has not moved on to someone more deserving. There is no one more deserving in her eyes. You are her child, and that is enough. There is a beautiful and ancient prayer that has been whispered by millions of broken people across centuries, in every language, in every kind of darkness imaginable. People who had lost everything, people who were afraid, people who were sick or grieving, or standing at the edge of what they could endure. They called on her, and again, across history and across human experience, she answered, not always in the way people expected, not always with the miracle they asked for, but always with presence, always with grace, always with the quiet, unmistakable sense that something had shifted, that the weight was being shared, that they were no longer alone in the carrying. That is what intercession does. It doesn't always remove the cross, but it makes the cross bearable. It transforms suffering from something that isolates into something that connects you to her, connects you to Christ, connects you to every other human being who has ever knelt down in desperation and found, in that very act of kneeling, that the ground beneath them was holy. So this morning, let her in. You don't need elaborate words. You don't need a rosary in your hand, though it is a beautiful prayer if you have one. You just need willingness. The willingness to open the door of your heart just a little, just enough to say, Mother, I need you. I can't explain everything that is wrong, but you already know. Please intercede for me. That is enough. It has always been enough, because she was never waiting for you to be perfect before she started praying for you. She was waiting for you to let her. And now, in this quiet morning moment, with the weight still present but something beginning to shift, you already have. There is a sentence in the Gospel of Matthew that has outlasted empires. It has been read in cathedrals and in prisons. It has been whispered in hospital rooms and carved into the walls of monasteries. It has been the last thread of hope for people who had nothing else left to hold on to. And this morning, it is being offered to you, not as a religious formality, not as a motivational quote to get you through the week, but as a living, breathing, personal invitation from the one who created you and knows exactly what you are carrying right now. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28. Read it again, slowly, not with your mind, but with the tired place inside you that has been waiting for permission to stop. Come to me. Not fix yourself first, then come. Not figure out your faith, resolve your doubts, get your life in order, and then approach. Just come as you are, with the unresolved situation still unresolved, with the unanswered prayer still unanswered, with the fear still present and the grief still fresh, and the exhaustion still sitting heavy in your chest. Come exactly like that, because that is precisely the person this invitation was written for. There is something radical about the way Jesus extends this call. In a world that is constantly asking you to earn your place, to be productive enough, spiritual enough, strong enough, good enough, he asks for none of that. He asks only for your willingness to come, to turn toward him, to stop running in the opposite direction of your own need and simply, humbly, honestly, arrive. And the promise he makes in return is not vague. It is not, I will try to help you. It is not, I will consider your situation. It is direct, certain, and unconditional. I will give you rest, not, you might find rest. Not rest is available if you pray correctly. I will give it, personally, directly, to you. That word, rest, in the original Greek is anapausis. It means more than sleep, more than a pause between responsibilities. It means a deep restoration of the inner person, a settling, a return to wholeness. The kind of rest that doesn't depend on your circumstances changing, but on something inside you being realigned, reoriented toward the truth of who God is and who you are in relation to him. It is the rest of someone who has finally stopped pretending, the rest of someone who has handed over the weight they were never designed to carry alone, the rest of someone who has looked into the eyes of grace and believed, truly believed, that they are loved, not because of what they do, but because of who they are, a child of God, held, known, seen, accompanied. And this rest, this profound, soul-level rest, is available to you right now, not at the end of your struggle, not after the situation resolves, not when you finally feel spiritual enough to receive it, now, this morning, in the middle of everything. But receiving it requires something from you, not perfection, not eloquence, not even great faith. It requires only one thing, that you come. So let this be your moment of coming, not in a grand, dramatic gesture, not with tears necessarily, though tears are always welcome here, just in the quiet turning of your heart toward the one who is already facing you.
already waiting, already holding out his hands with the offer that has never expired and never will. Close your eyes if you can. Take a breath and let these words become yours. Not just words you are hearing, but words you are speaking from the deepest part of who you are. Lord, I am tired. I have been carrying things I don't know how to put down. I have been strong in places where I'm actually breaking. I have smiled when I wanted to cry, and I have kept going when everything in me wanted to stop. I don't have it figured out. I don't have the right words. I don't even fully understand what I need. But you do. You have always known. So I'm coming to you, not because I'm ready, but because you said to come. Not because I deserve rest, but because you promised to give it. Not because I have earned your presence, but because you have never asked me to earn it. I come with the weight. I come with the doubt. I come with the unanswered questions and the unhealed wounds and the fears I haven't even named yet. I come with all of it, and I lay it here at your feet because I cannot carry it anymore, and I was never meant to. Thank you for this morning. Thank you for this breath. Thank you for the quiet that holds me right now, and for the mother who has been interceding for me even when I forgot to ask. Thank you that your love is not something I have to chase. It is something I simply have to receive. Give me rest, Lord, the kind only you can give, the kind that changes not just how I feel, but how I see. Help me to walk through this day not under the weight, but alongside you, knowing that what I cannot carry, you already are. I trust you, even when I don't fully feel it. I choose to trust you. Amen. Stay here for a moment longer. Don't rush back into the noise. Don't immediately pick up your phone or let the day flood back in before you've had the chance to let this settle. Something happened in this moment. Maybe you felt it. Maybe you didn't. But faith is not measured in feelings. It is measured in the direction you turn your face. And this morning, you turned yours toward grace. That matters more than you know. The weight may still be there when you open your eyes. The situation may not have changed. The answers may not have arrived. But something has shifted in the invisible, in the place where prayers are heard and intercessions are answered, and the love of God moves in ways that defy explanation. Something has shifted because you came, because you stopped running from your own need and walked, however haltingly, toward the only one who can truly meet it. Our Lady is still interceding for you. She did not stop when this prayer ended. She carries your name forward into the day ahead, into the hours that will be hard, into the moments when you forget everything you felt in this quiet morning space, and the weight threatens to feel unbearable again. In those moments, remember this: you have already prayed, you have already turned, you have already placed it in the hands that hold the universe together, and those hands do not drop what they are given. Matthew 11:28 is not a verse for the spiritually strong. It is a verse for the honestly exhausted, for the quietly broken, for the person who woke up this morning not knowing how they were going to face the day, and who, in a small and sacred act of surrender, decided to stop facing it alone. That person is you, and you are not carrying it alone. You never were. And from this morning forward, one breath, one prayer, one moment of trust at a time, you will know it more and more deeply in the place where it matters most. Not in your mind, in your heart, where grace has always been waiting for you to arrive. This morning will pass. The day will arrive with its demands and its noise and its thousand small ways of pulling you away from this stillness. But what you carry out of this moment is yours. No one can take it from you. You came. You were honest. You prayed, imperfectly, incompletely, humanly, and that was more than enough. It has always been more than enough. Go into this day differently, not because everything is resolved, but because you are no longer alone in the unresolved. Not because the road ahead is easier, but because you are no longer walking it without accompaniment. She walks with you, he walks with you, and every step you take from here carries the quiet, unshakable weight of a morning when you chose, above all else, to come. That choice echoes further than you know. Good morning, and may this day hold for you exactly what your heart most needs, even the things you haven't yet found the words to ask for. You are loved, you are held, and you are never, never alone. If this message touched your heart this morning, leave a comment below with just one word, the word that describes what you are handing over to God today. It can be fear, grief, hope, healing, or anything that is in your heart right now. You don't have to explain it. Just leave it here and know that others will pray with you. And if this prayer brought you comfort, share it with someone who needs to hear that they are not carrying it alone. One share can change someone's entire morning. Subscribe to this channel so you never miss a message like this one. And if this touched your soul, leave your like. It is your way of saying, I was here, and it mattered. See you in the next prayer.